You are listening to the Daily Gospel Reflections with Sister Cloth. This podcast is brought to you by the Paulines Multimedia. It is our mission to bring the Word of God to all peoples through sounds and images, voices, and music. Come and join us as we share with you a thought a day. Our reading for today is lifted from St. Luke chapter 6, verses 12 to 19. Jesus departed to the mountain to pray, and he spent the night in prayer to God. When day came, he called his disciples to himself, and from them he chose 12, whom he also named apostles: Simon, whom he named Peter, and his brother Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James the son of Alphaeus, Simon, who was called the Zealot, and Judas the son of James, and Judas Iscariot, who became a traitor. And he came down with them and stood on a stretch of level ground. A great crowd of his disciples and a large number of the people from all Judea and Jerusalem and the coastal region of Tyre and Sidon came to hear him and to be healed of their diseases. And even those who were tormented by unclean spirits were cured. Everyone in the crowd sought to touch him, because power came forth from him and healed them all. Hello there, welcome back. Today's gospel tells us of Jesus choosing 12 apostles to be part of his mission. What a special privilege to note that God has chosen us too. Each time I think of this, my mind shifts to beauty contests where the judges select the semi-finalists and finalists based on their excellence in various aspects. However, one writer thinks of Christ's choice of apostles in a very different way. He says that following Jesus is not about being a better you because you have to die to yourself. It is about being more like him, which is the case. When Jesus calls, he says, he calls us to leave behind our old self and embrace our new self. He calls us into a life of transformation where he begins to chisel the hard, selfish, proud, lazy, and greedy in us to reveal his spirit. When Jesus calls us, the Lord invites us to a purpose that involves his kingdom that has eternal consequences. He calls us into a spiritual warfare in which we cannot fight with our strength alone and win. We must fight in his power, strength, and way, and victory is guaranteed for as long as we do it his way. Beautiful insight. Another thing that caught my attention was the composition of the 12 apostles chosen by Jesus to be part of the team. Levi, also named Matthew, was a former tax collector and was known for being a traitor to his people. But Jesus chose him anyway. Then we have Simon, the Canaanite, known for being stubborn and rebellious. I could imagine how these men had to learn to live and work harmoniously with one another. Each one had his strengths and weaknesses, and yet Jesus called them to do the same mission with Jesus. Isn't it natural to have difficulties dealing with coworkers or companions with personalities or temperaments so different from ours? But by our calling, we must accept one another with all our limitations and weaknesses. Who am I to give judgment against another when we are all on the same journey, all evolving and growing. Pardon me for being judgmental, Lord. Be with us again tomorrow as we share with you a thought a day. Meanwhile, you can follow us and listen to other Apple and Google podcasts on Spotify, produced by Paulines Multimedia. Have a good day.